What is happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in today. Today we're going to be finishing up putting on the last bit of accessories onto the FJ, including the mirrors, the handles, the front piece of the hood, and then the grille, and then my taillight guards. So we're going to be putting all those on. I did go ahead and I repainted everything as a nice fresh coat of black paint on all of it, including the mirrors over here, which are just chilling on the FRS. So we're going to go ahead and put those on, and then we're going to do a quick little overview of actually how to remove the inner door panel and then install and remove your handles and your mirror itself. So we're going to do those few things. We're going to do a time lapse of everything going together. So stay tuned. Okay, guys, so we're going to actually not be doing a time lapse on the mirrors and the door handles because I want to do kind of a breakdown of how you guys can do it at home. So what you guys are actually doing, so if you guys can see right here, the mirror is actually clipped in. If you look at this mirror, you can see that there are two clips that actually hold the mirror in place on the door assembly. So before you actually bolt it in, the mirror will stay in place. To actually remove the mirror from the inside of the door panel, you will have to get a flathead screwdriver to pop that clip up and then rotate it out. So as you guys can see, the mirror is just holding on right now, but that is how it's going to look. And transitioning inside real quick, we're going to go ahead and talk about what you guys are looking at doing to remove the inner door panel so that you can get to this cavity here, which is held on by 4 bolts to actually remove the mirror and all that stuff. So we're going to talk about what you're going to do to actually remove the panel itself. So as you guys can see, mine have both removed from both sides just for paint purposes. But here is the panel, and this is what you're going to look at doing. So to actually get started, you can see there's a cap there, and there's a cap up actually in the handle. Both of these are a Phillips head 10mm bolt. And once you remove those 2 bolts, you're going to go around the perimeter on the lower side of the panel itself using a panel popping tool or a flathead screwdriver, popping the lower section of the panel off, and then raising the panel up because the panel does rest on the inner side of the window well here. So once the panel has been popped out from the base and moved up, the inner panel will pop free. Then you will have to remove your electronics here for your windows and all that stuff. But there is one clip, and then it rests on the inside of the inner portion of the door. So once you pop that free, you're going to be good there. You can feed that through the panel or basically come out the other way if you want to pull out the plug itself. I just kept everything attached because I was driving without the inner door panel for a little bit. From there, you're going to want to go ahead and remove your 2 cables here. One is for the latch, or the locking mechanism, sorry, and the other one is for the latch. So green is for your latch itself, so this is how you can actually pull that to actually open the door if you want to drive without panels. But once you actually have that all removed, your door panel is good to come off, and then you can access that panel on the inside to remove those 4 bolts. The panel I have is somewhere in the car. But once you pull those 4 bolts out, then you have access to that mirror. On the inside, you guys will see that is the clip right there that I was talking about will actually hold the mirror in place until you get your bolts actually installed or removed. So you'll see there's one bolt there. Up here in the dark, you won't be able to see it, but there are 2 more 10mm bolts. Once you remove those 3 bolts, the mirror will pop free. So as I said, you get that little flathead screwdriver, flathead screwdriver right on the base of that, pop that mount out, the mirror will be removed. Now you make sure you do remove your cable and your wiring harness as well, because that's actually what controls your mirror and all that stuff from the outside, as well as your LED marker light. So once those are removed, your mirror is actually free to come off, and that's basically all you're doing for your mirror removal or install. Next up, let's talk about handle removal or reassembly. So starting out with the handle, you will notice there is going to be a plastic cap on the inside of your door frame. So once you remove that cap, you will have an access point to a bolt inside there. That's going to be a Phillips head bolt, or I believe a 10mm as well. But I did lose both of my bolts on either side of the door down into the door frame. So when you actually are backing them out, what I would suggest is basically get to the point where they are loose, and then holding with one finger here, put on a magnet or whatever you have just to make sure it doesn't fall off. But once that bolt is removed, your latching mechanism can actually pull directly out. And then your handle, what it will actually do is just pull backwards and it comes completely free. So as you guys can see, I've just basically put mine into the holes, slid it forward, locks it into place, and then you just take your locking mechanism, and that slides right back into the housing there, and then just go ahead and re-bolt. And that's how you basically reinstall or remove your latch and your handle. But there you have it, guys. I think those are the only 2 things that are a little bit technical to reinstall or remove. So we're going to go ahead and bolt everything down now. And I'm just going to do a little time lapse of me installing the grill. We're going to try to get that front hood piece done as well. And we're just going to do a few more things. So stay tuned for all that. Okay, guys, we have run into one little snag. So the buildup of the Raptor liner actually on the body now has produced a little bit of a gap for the locking mechanism away from the body panel. So you guys can't see in the hole, but the threads are not lining up to actually where the bolt is supposed to go into. So I'll have to figure this out. I don't want to drill anything out, but it might be easier in the future if you guys are to paint Raptor liner on your FJ to basically leave your handles on. So we'll see what I can do with this. Okay, crisis avoided. So what I ended up doing is I did bore out the hole just a scotch. I basically just drug the hole. If this is the hole here, I just kind of drug it to the left just a little bit. Everything lines up. Everything looks great. Everything is tight. So I'm just going to call it good. So we're just going to keep on trucking. And there we go, guys. The door panel has been fully reinstalled. I did want to bring up one thing I had forgot. There is one little pop pin right there. So there's going to be that pin there, that one bolt that's now behind that cover, and then the bolt that is behind that cover there. So there's going to be those three things, and then this is the clips all the way around, and that's how that door frame pops free. So now that we have fully installed the mirror and the handle, and we're going to go ahead and keep on going. All right, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. We hit a few roadblocks, time lapses all over the place, so I apologize for that. But we did get a few things completed, even though it's not all I wanted to get done. We did get the mirrors installed. The handles were the biggest pain, but they are fully installed. In a pain only because of something I didn't anticipate. The Raptor liner thickness was actually the biggest issue of them, just because the handle wouldn't recess into the door panel. It's basically as far as it needed to go for everything to kind of operate perfectly. Thus, why we had to drill that hole. The handle was not trying to grab the actual mechanism, but got that all taken care of. The front grille is mounted on. Looks great. If you guys remember before, it was white. I think the black looks a lot better. The front, basically, trim piece here is not mounted on completely right now. I took the bolts back out of it only because of the clips on the top end. Mine are trashed, so I'm going to go ahead and get some clips. And then I do need to go ahead and mount down my Putco vent mount here, which, as bad as it sounds, it's installed with 3M double stick tape. So I'm going to reinstall that one. I do not know if I'm going to reinstall the hood handles or the Hummer handles, whatever you want to call them. I liked them just because it broke the hood up, but I know a lot of people don't like them. So call them what you guys want to see. If you guys want me to put those back on, I will. If not, I'll just get rid of them. So, but that's about it. I am going to go ahead and get, as you Toyota FJ guys know, these little clips down here, or these little basically trim pieces as well. They love to just pop right off. So I'm going to get some epoxy or something, and I'm just going to fully secure that to the panel, to the fender itself. So going to get that fixed. But we still have a few more things to get done. I'll do all that stuff tomorrow. There's a 4 parts meet tomorrow that I'm probably going to try to get to. But that's about it, guys. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel. We're going to get everything else done. We're going to get the FJ outside here shortly so you can see everything, see how it all looks, and see the full finished product. So thanks, guys. Have a good one. Bye.